Hey everybody, Goosebumps Dummies here, back at it again with another video. And today, we're going to be talking about the Phantom of the Auditorium musical once again, this time putting each and every song on here on a tier list. Why? Because fuck it. We haven't done a tier list since December last year, and it's now, well, almost October. And speaking of October, check out my setup. I might make a short about this very soon, as in I definitely will make a short about this very soon. And as you can see, there's some lights, there's some, art pieces of the, Halloween books. You got the Haunted Mask graphic novel. You got the Haunts are up there, Werewolf Skin, Goosebumps 2. You can't even see it, but there's 5 minutes of Doctor's screen here. Yeah, it's a little off screen. You got Zombie Halloween. Yeah, and also, Snake. Yeah. So, Halloween setups is in session. Might change it, might not, I don't know. And yeah, you're gonna be seeing that from now on. Like, you haven't seen it for the past 3 videos, but who cares? Anyways, let's just dive into this tier list. Before we get into that, though, I do want to lay down some ground rules. There's no rules. But there are some things to be noted. I won't talk about them as much as I did in my review, just so there's more to be offered in the review video, as well as the more middling tracks that are towards this, like the low D tier or to the high A tier, aren't going to be talked about as much as the very bottom of the barrel ones or, the great ones. So yeah, let's just dive in. And here we are with the tier list. Now, let's just talk about the list for a second. We have Phantom's Gold, which is S tier. This is the best songs, and that's where they'll go. The Bops for Real are basically A tier, Solid is B, Meh is C, it's just fine. Pretty Poopy is D, and Diarrhea of the Toilet, which is obviously play on Phantom of the Auditorium. Instead of Phantom is Diarrhea and Toilet is Auditorium. That is F tier. And Understudy Buddy, well, yeah, it's Understudy Buddy, let's just, let's put that in its rightful place. Yep, piece of shit. Fucking horrible. The worst song almost I have ever heard is right up there with Demon Dice. Sorry, not Demon Dice. I don't know what the fuck that song was, but it's fucking horrible. Yeah, now let's dive in for realsies. So, starting off with Goosebumps. Not a lot to be said. It is just a fantastical musical version of Goosebumps. Has a lot of neat references, and it just sounds really good on the ears. It is fucking amazing. Yeah. Great. Now, Super Scary Play is going to be very interesting. I'm not a big fan of this, and in fact, it's pretty poopy, not going to lie. For what the title may, present, it might be like talking about the play. No, it's the beginning, 1.5 chapters of the book, and it's played out in a weird way. It's really goofy, and not in a good way. It has that certain charm I don't like. I'll tell you that much. It is definitely not what you'd expect from the title. Next up, The Legend. Solid. The Legend is fine. I don't think... actually, no, fucking no. Meh. It's just fine. Like, I would never listen to this one again. I think the main vocalist isn't great, but there's some decent stuff to be offered. Next up, Watch Your Step. Solid. Probably one of the most solid songs in here. It has a great voice, it has some great notes struck, and it's just a genuinely fun time. Next up, oh boy, Babbling Brook. Now, this one could honestly be Understudy Buddy, like this could be in that same place, but it's just, they're both so terrible. Just know that they're pretty much just as fucking terrible. If not, Babbling Brook could honestly be worse any day. Do not listen to those two. But actually, listen to The Story of the Phantom. The Story of the Phantom is the best song in here. No questions asked. I think it is amazing. It is fantastical. It has a great score, great voices behind it, and I'm sure it would be awesome to see it actually play it out on stage. Fucking love it. Who Done It? It's solid. It's like between Meh and Solid, but I'm not gonna give it its own tier. It's not that big a deal. Who Done It is fine. It is a fine song. It's barely even a song, but it is a song. So, what can I say? Next up, My Home Sweet Home. This one is honestly borderline amazing, but I think it's just really darn good. easily one of the best ones here still. My story, whilst it has those aspects that I don't really enjoy that are even present in fucking Understudy Buddy, I think it is working here because, well, it makes sense to be in it. Understudy Buddy did not need to exist. It's just an add-on filler, and it's fucking horrible. Diary of the Toilet, I mean, that describes this one. Babbling Brook, it did not need to be played out the way it was, but Phantom's Golden also didn't have to be played out the way it was with those notes and those dialogues and shit. It made sense. It made a lot more sense, and it really worked, and I loved my story. And Goosebumps Reprise, just a lesser version of Goosebumps. It's okay. Now, you may notice a color contrast on these next 8. Now, that is because these are shorter tracks. I call them the melodies, or quick melodies. They don't add much. They aren't full segments like these ones are, but they are still part of the soundtrack, and I gotta throw them in there. And, yeah, let's just dive into them. Just know they're really quick ones. Stay Away sounds fucking amazing. Easy S tier. Not a lot to be said past that. It's just a really amazing track, and a lot of these, not a lot to be said past the fact that they're, well, amazing tracks. And Track Day is fine. It's literally same level as Whodunit. It's just okay. Somebody Down There is super interesting. I'm not a huge fan of it, though I would prefer it over The Legend. But yeah, I enjoy it. It's not one I'd ever come back to. The Trapdoor is like the most in between of these two, but I'm gonna go ahead and bump it up to solid just because I want people to listen to this soundtrack. Persuade them a little more of an extra one in B tier. The Trapdoor is solid. It has some nice notes, and there's actors screaming, I believe, so that's cool. Next up, Opening Night. Meh. Not a lot to be said. Opening Night is just, it's music. There's not even dialogue in this one. It's just music. So whatever. One Last Goal. Holy shit. I fucking love One Last Goal. All right, these darker sounding ones are incredible, and One Last Goal is probably the most epic sounding Goosebumps track for it only being 30 seconds of all time. It rivals the movie soundtrack. It rivals the most epic times, sounding 90s show soundtracks. It just sounds incredible. Clearly, you know what that one's trying to be. It's trying to be, like, the most impactful part of the play. Like, oh shit, some shit's going on. Huh. That type of stuff. And I really love it for that. The performance is solid. And you know what? We're just going to talk about these two together. They're the wrap-up songs. They finish off everything. Performance is, well, the performance. It is everything before my story that's going on in the play, and I presume the actors are just acting out the story of the Phantom of the Auditorium play. Fine. The Phantom Unmasked is the final track here, and is the closing of this. That is Goosebumps Reprise. It plays at the very end, but the final track for the story is Phantom Unmasked, and it's, well, fine. Gets the job done. And yeah, that is my tier list for all of these songs. I think that this soundtrack is generally amazing overall. Well, that's putting it a little on a higher pedestal than it actually deserves. It is just a really solid, generally nice time to listen to, and I do recommend all of these, and honestly, I might listen to these, all of these just again on my own will. It's just a fun time. This is a whole musical that I will come back to at some point, probably for like Halloween or maybe the anniversary of Phantom of the Auditorium, stuff like that. It's a bop. I highly recommend y'all go check it out. Like I said, please go check out this musical. I really want people to, listen to it and give me some thoughts. Maybe make their own reviews for what they think of it. And yeah, I wish this got more recognition nowadays, besides, like, the manual reviews. That's why I did this bonus video, tier list. And maybe in the future I'll talk about it a little more. I'm not sure how. Maybe you guys can leave some ideas below. Maybe I can, I don't know, do a ranking of every Goosebumps song ever made. That would be hell. I'm never doing that. I already know I won't, but give me some ideas if you want to see more Phantom of the Auditorium musical content. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.
for you may find a scare that fills your soul with fright and gives you goosebumps in the night.